Hi, everyone. I am Lorianne. I am that gal from Milton, Ontario, Canada, and I am here with.
I am that guy. I am Roy Miller from Dallas, Texas, and we'd like to welcome you to our Lift Your Story podcast.
So, in this episode, we're very pleased to have Jill Lublin, who is a master publicity strategist and 4 times best-selling author. Thank you so much, Jill, for being here with us today.
I'm delighted to be here with you. Thank you.
So, Jill, can you tell us a little bit about the books you've published?
Sure. Well, my first one was actually called Guerrilla Publicity, and I'm so excited because it just came out in a third edition, which is very wonderful. And I also have written a book on referrals called Get Noticed Get Referrals on McGraw Hill. And also my latest book is called The Profit of Kindness. And now I'm doing the Year of Kindness and launching monthly kindness circles. So lots of good stuff coming out of each book.
Can you tell us a little about the profit kindness? Can you kind of go into that a little bit?
Sure. Well, what I've done with The Profit of Kindness was we found that there were what I call 7 primary return on kindness principles, and what we found is that if people followed those, they would have good return on investment, interestingly enough. So being kind, yes, it's profitable. You don't do it because of that. But the good news is that kindness does lead to sales and connections and referrals. And so like one of those return on kindness principles, for example, is flexibility. Certainly we all need it these days, right? Lots of flexibility. And, that's a great example of being kind and doing the right thing.
So would you say that's kind of a culmination of the other books you've written about referrals and the publicity? Does all that tie in kind of into this book, or is it something totally different?
Well, here's what's interesting. One day I'm looking at my books, one on referrals, one on networking, and one on publicity. And I look at them, I go, wow, that's, it's obviously about being in business and doing well. And then when Profit of Kindness came out, what I realized is that when you're a kind company, you get great publicity. So Guerrilla Publicity ties right into that, absolutely. And kind companies get noticed. Kind companies get publicity, period. That's what I've seen.
That's really interesting. Sorry, Roy, I was just thinking, it just keeps coming up in the last 3 days. So it's interesting, Jill, that you're here today, is that when you put kindness out, it comes back to you in bigger ways. And some people would sit there and go, no, you've got to fight. You've got to be, mean and tough. And, in order to make it in this world, I don't have that belief. So thank you for being here, because along with all these little notices of saying, put the kindness out and it will come back to you, you're here saying that exact thing. So thank you. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. My pleasure.
Well, I can remember back years ago, everything was about relationships. It was hard to do business unless you had a relationship. It was always hard to get a relationship because of the ones that people already had. So are you finding now that the shift into kindness companies is an upcoming trend?
Well, here's the deal. I think being kind in today's environment is so key. First of all, it builds trust, it builds relationship. And if you look at the lexicon in the language, it's interesting. Like I watch Honda is doing kindness commercials, and Dignity Health out of the Bay Area, a major healthcare company, is running a major advertising campaign called Human Kindness. So here's what's interesting. Guess what? Kindness is taken over. Like happiness was the big word last year. I'm seeing that kindness is the big word this year.
Really? Interesting.
Absolutely. It's been happening a lot.
That makes sense, though, because what we've gone through in the last year, there has been the need to be kind and to support each other, and a lot more relationship building, believe it or not, that I have heard from even in our community. And they've had the time to take the time to be in the community. And then they go, wow, people say hi in our community. I didn't know they did that, because they were so busy with work. So I can see where that is definitely coming in, and I just think it's fantastic. Sorry, this is my beautiful. The kindness to me is one of the biggest things in the world.
Yes. Well, the truth is it's part of business. If you do business kindly, business just multiplies. It's a natural equation. And that's a good thing. We also found in the profit of kindness that every company I interviewed, and this was large and small. I mean, this was sometimes entrepreneurs with, two people as contractors with them, right? It doesn't have to be big companies. And what was interesting is that consistently the CEO and founder was happier. Consistently, they had happier customers and clients, right? Consistently, they were more profitable when they practice kindness in their company. Fascinating, isn't it?
It really is. So do you do consulting for companies as
I
well?
do. I do speaking for companies on creating cultures of kindness combined with coaching programs. Yes.
Could
Do you?
imagine just sorry, speak of that, with the kindness and with the business being in that mindset of kindness towards their clients, but also that would then trickle down into the employees, which would then make the employees happier. So really, ultimately, it's a win-win all over the place. And then with the employees happy, there's more profitability, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's kind of like that.
Absolutely. And so what, my commitment was, it's interesting. I'd been wanting to do kindness circles for a long time. And when the pandemic hit, I'm like, now is the moment because we need to stay focused on it, right? We need to zoom in on it. And now I've got a year of kindness, and we did a large kindness summit celebrating World Kindness Day. And we had over 100 people registered. So in my community every month with the Year of Kindness, monthly kindness circles, I'm so excited because that's exactly what we're doing. We're contributing to each other. We're sharing leads and referrals. We're connecting and collaborating. And then we're making a difference in our communities. And people are all over the world in these kindness circles.
I love this, what you said, and zoom in on it, which we have been zooming, but this is the perfect word for Zoom, zooming in on something that's really important. Yes, thanks.
So how do your kindness circles work? I mean, tell our listeners kind of what that process is.
Sure. Well, we come together on the third Wednesday of every month, and we are in a 1-hour Zoom circle where we get to share with each other in interactive breakout sessions what we need and want for more kindness in our life. Plus, I have amazing thought leaders like Jack Canfield, who you've probably heard of, Chicken Soup for the Soul, and Marcy Shimoff, yes, who wrote Happy for No Reason and is all featured Chicken Soup for the Mother's Soul author. I have amazing people every single month who are going to talk about, like in a TED style talk, just a simple how to use kindness more. And it's just going to be awesome. So every month we have an amazing superstar featured and interactive connected circles where people get to give and receive kindness.
Beautiful.
Wow, that's pretty interesting.
Jack Canfield has a really interesting story about that. Like I did actually have the opportunity to meet him, and his story coming from a teacher and that whole startup, and this is where I would like to take you. So he started as a teacher, then became an author. Where did you start, Jill?
I started as frankly always a publicity expert, but that was after I dropped out of law school. Because I was going to be an attorney, and then, well, I got to law school. That wasn't too exciting and tough for a very creative mind like mine. And so the good news is I found my path, which is publicity. I do monthly virtual publicity courses, get them done, no nonsense, and really practical, interactive publicity course where people actually get their publicity done, right? And so I found a way to make things very affordable, very simple, obviously based on Guerrilla publicity with simple, easy, no nonsense things to do. It's made a huge difference.
I like the title Guerrilla because I remember back probably in maybe the 90s or early 2000s, there was a a big thing about, they call it guerrilla marketing.
That's right.
I don't know if
That's
you've
right.
ever heard of that or not, but anyway,
Well, not only have I heard of it, but when you look at Guerrilla Publicity behind me, Guerrilla Publicity is J. Conrad Levinson. That's exactly who you're talking about.
okay.
Yeah.
And J. Conrad Levinson said to me, I want you to write Guerrilla Publicity because you're the one who knows publicity. So I'm part of the J. Conrad Levinson Guerrilla Marketing Series.
Oh, okay. Well,
Wow.
that? Yeah. Wow.
That's big. Yeah. Guerrilla market. I have that book. I have to get yours onto next to him on my library shelf.
Yes,
Definitely.
please do.
Absolutely.
I just thought that was interesting. I thought, well, I remember guerrilla marketing, but this is something I guess totally different. I had no idea that you were tied in with them. That's great. Now Roy Ann is what Roy Ann? What did you do? PR, public. What are they? Public releases. What's
I
the
was a
word?
literary agent for a while, and I got into
about publicity. You were doing writing. I'm at a loss for the word for people how to get their message out.
Oh, the branding. Yeah. So I have a book out on branding. Yeah, how to brand the true you, though, and it's about being true to yourself. Some people joke around. They go, "Well, why don't you wear makeup?" I go, "Because I don't wear makeup, and I'm not going to wear makeup just to make other people think that I'm proud of my age. I'm proud of what I look like. I don't need it, and I get what they're saying. It will make prettier pictures, but I think that what's pretty is, as you said, the kindness, what's inside of you, what you're giving out there, and if you can get out there and brand yourself that way, and people, they'll take, they'll feel even better about it because they're not going to be seeing, the sports cars or the mansions or all of that. They're going to say, hey, there's a real person I can connect with. And again, Jill, as you were saying, but kindness has to come into it too. No BS.
Absolutely.
Don't lie. Don't tell them they're going to get something that they're not going to get, because ultimately they're going to figure it out, and then they're not going to trust you anymore, and then that's going to be sent out to the world because they're going to be one. And it was like, I was watching a show the other day. You can have 500 people happy and one person not. That one person is going to be all over the internet, and that's going to be your story.
Right.
Yeah.
Now you have to watch, this is publicity, right? You have
Yep.
to watch how your reputation is maintained. You have to deliver what you say, and then frankly, over deliver it, right? And I think that's a real key, is give people really something to talk about in a positive, wonderful way about you. And I find that will be multiplied by the opportunity of giving in spades. I know in my publicity course, I way over deliver very purposely. Like, people come in with an expectation. Yes, we're going to get 3 documents done. Yes, we're going to, they know what to expect. And then I give lots of gifts, and I give lots of opportunities to interact and to break out into connections so that they get to meet each other. Right. So this isn't just all right, we're just going to talk at you. Right. But I like to over deliver. I think it's a good practice.
What's the saying? Under promise and over deliver.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's not just a feel good. What was it we're saying, that you give, and they go, I'm selfless. No, everybody's kind of selfish because it feels good to be able to over deliver, and it makes you feel good. So as much as it's selfless, it's also it feels good. So yeah, they could say that it's selfish, but it's a better way of being selfish. And I wish everybody was that kind of selfish.
That would be a good thing, wouldn't it?
Right.
And really the main point is giving value, right? Giving value. It's funny because when I wrote actually Guerrilla Publicity, I was very privileged to talk to media all across the country, like Entrepreneur Magazine, and these are all great places, right, to get into, the Wall Street Journal and all kinds of media. And I asked them, what do you love and what do you hate about publicity? And their answers were varied, but one thing they always agreed on was you have to give value and benefit. So this is the one thing I'm always like, shall we say, pounding in with people, and that is giving value and benefit.
Yeah.
Sure.
So when you do consulting for companies, do you meet with a lot of resistance, and when you start working with these people?
I think it depends what. I mean, I also do publicity consulting. Like I got brought into Philips Corporation and talked to the heads of marketing about their publicity, right? Because I wanted to do it more guerrilla style, using less money and high effectiveness. And they were very open. They wanted to hear what I said and what I knew. So my answer is, typically if people are bringing me in, they know they need it. That doesn't always mean they want to do everything that I tell them to do. But certainly, I think that on the whole, that there's an openness to hearing. And then of course there's implementation that matters next.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, because I mean, I just wonder if you go into people that, well, it's worked this good for 10 years. Why should we do something different? You know what I mean? Because I worked at a company where the manager, change was a 4-letter word to him. He was just afraid to change because everything's been working, and he's afraid he's going to do something different, and corporate wouldn't like it. So that's always what I think of when people say that. Well, I went in to help these people, and I can think of going into Mike, going, well, I don't know, it sounds good, but it's worked for the last 25 years. I just don't see changing it, and it's like, okay, whatever.
Right. Well, so I guess they spent money and you took a nice trip and that was it, right? But I think on the whole that people do want to change, and it doesn't mean always all at once, but I find if I give people baby steps to take, that really helps.
Yeah.
My favorite movie. Are you going to write a second version of that book?
Which movie?
Oh, it's with Bill Murray. Was it
What About Bob?
What about Bob? And there's a book called Baby
Yes.
Steps. Oh, that's such a funny movie. But I would say, though, we digress, less money for higher effectiveness. Definitely, I would think that there's not a lot of companies that would be, fearing that change, because, and today would be even more so if you can, for less money, be more effective. We want to do that. And of course, this is what they call a different, over the last year, businesses have changed. But I don't know that the root of a business has really changed. And I think that that's where we have to realize, yeah, we might be doing Zoom, we might be doing that, but seriously, there's still a lot of the core that I believe that you're working with that benefits from moving forward. And maybe there's more awareness now that this is the transition that has to be done, which probably should have been done 10 years ago.
Right. And I think that's a lot of it, is making sure that, you are, like you said, right, that you are integral to your brand, that you're walking your walk and talking your talk, and staying, I like to call it, consistent and persistent in the marketplace, which is the power of what publicity does.
So I would think that the internet would make publicity easier. Is that a double-edged sword?
It does make it easier. Funny enough, I actually think all of the advent of social media and the positivity of influence building has actually multiplied the possibilities of getting more publicity. Yeah, I'm seeing it all over the place. And, it's good news. It's good news.
I have a question about that, though. With the internet as such, though, do you not feel, Jill, that some people do more easily get buried because it is just so overwhelming, because there is so much publicity now? I mean, I would believe that it's harder.
There's so much social media, but there's not, social proof, which is really what publicity does. And it's all publicity, right? What you post in your social media, that's publicity. What your opinions are, or not showing them, may be publicity. And I think what's wonderful to me is there's so many opportunities to create more visibility, more publicity, because of people like you who are doing fabulous podcasts, right? The multiplication of podcasts, the multiplication of blogs, the opportunity to be a guest on all kinds of places has been a really great way to create more of that name recognition than ever before.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay. So let me ask you, as reputation management in concert with publicity. So how is that working? Because you're out publicizing yourself, but then you've also got to worry about your reputation at the same time, your credibility, because if that goes, everything goes, right?
Oh, I would agree. And I will tell you, it's not a big, problem with most of the people I work with who are, entrepreneurs, business people, committed to good value and delivering excellent service. It's really typically not an issue. What you're talking about is frankly usually related to bigger companies. And yes, the problems they do tend to have sometimes. I got brought onto a Dallas, Texas TV station, actually, a major Fox News station, because your largest ad agency in Dallas, who happens to be the ad agency for, let's see, I just have to remember, Dr. Pepper and Motel 6 and Cracker Barrel and so on. Well, the CEO made a racist remark and they got fired. They got fired by Motel 6 that day. And then it followed all the rest of the companies, kind of like dominoes, fired them too. And next thing I know, I'm on TV talking about why that happened and what happened and why it's bad publicity, right? Because they messed up and they made, they did something stupid. And that is to make a racist comment. And in today's market, you have to be so sensitive at every single level. And I think that's a good thing personally, and they paid the price.
Yeah. Because with social media, everything is instant.
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
it's within seconds, minutes, that mistake is just shot everywhere, and it gains momentum every minute, every post, every picture, every meme, whatever. So that's what I was getting at is not only are you trying to get your name and brand out there, but you've got to be careful, because at the other side of that coin is your reputation if you make a mistake.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But I'm not overly concerned about most people on this. It's just, keep your nose clean, be smart, be kind, stay upright. You're doing good.
Yeah. I mean, it does happen, but it's just something you have to be aware of as a consequence.
Yes.
Right.
I think this is perfect though. That's what Jill was saying though. This is where her kindness circle. If you have that kindness, if you have that, then you have that awareness automatically if you're focusing on the kindness. So the odds are that, well, the odds are better towards you that somebody's not going to take something you said out of context, because that happens as well, that you say something and it's not meant to be. But focusing on those, Jill, I think that just eliminates the percentage of your odds of doing that. So yeah.
It's just everything's just so instant now. Had you made that mistake, but you were able to have time to correct it before it got blasted out to the world.
Exactly.
And there's a guy
just like things that I say to you, Roy, sometimes, thank goodness it's not on the podcast. I'm kidding.
It's like the guy's in the boardroom and he makes that comment, then he goes, "Oh, I apologize. I shouldn't have said that.
Too late."
Yeah, too late. Yeah, and I think that's the thing now. I mean, honestly, it's monitor your speech, monitor, what you're saying, because I think we're all, more sensitive now, as we should be. And, it took a lot to maybe get us there, and there's more to go, right? More to go. But I think watch your words. And if in doubt, don't say it.
Yeah.
True.
Well,
should have told me that last night, Roy.
Yeah, pretty logical.
All right. This has been absolutely terrific. Jill, you have to tell our listeners where to find you, and you said that you have some gifts, so please do share.
Absolutely. Thank you. So first of all, check out publicitycrashcourse.com/free gift. That's a wonderful action guide for you for more publicity tactics that will help you in your business. So definitely ask you to check that out, publicitycrashcourse.com/free gift. Then I want to invite you to this year of kindness I was telling you about. Please check that out, jilllublin.com/year of kindness. Please come on, join us for this year, make a difference for 2021. It's important that we spread kindness and be together as community to help the world. And then if you've got a question or just need to connect and ask me anything about publicity or book publishing, because I've been helping people get book deals for many years, please feel free, send us an email, support@jilllublin.com.
Right. Perfect. Perfect.
It's been fantastic. Thank you so much for this. I love the kindness, and let's spread the word, and we will definitely get it out there to our listeners. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for being our guest, Jill. It was really a pleasure meeting you, and looking forward to doing a follow-up with you in the future.
Thank you for having me.
Okay. All right.
Bye-bye.
So long. Bye-bye.